Hi, good afternoon. My
Hi,
name is Renz Arroyo. What's your name?
Kaya.
Hi, nice to meet you, Kaya. Is there anything that you'd prefer me to address you by instead of that, or anything you're more comfortable with?
Kaya's fine.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, well, it's very nice to meet you, Kaya. I will be your therapist for this session today, and I hope I can discuss with you just what it is that you brought into the office. Um, all that I expect of you today is that you're honest with yourself and with me so that we can solve this problem together. But before we begin, I wanted to bring up something important, and that's the concept of confidentiality. Now, I just wanted to let you know that anything you say here in this session today will remain private, just between the two of us, you and me. Um, Anything you say here will not be shared with anyone else. This is a safe place. I don't want you to feel like anything you share here will be, leaked to anyone on the outside. And unfortunately, I will be forced to give that information out if you do say something that follows a few parameters. So that would be if you disclose to me that you will be bringing harm to yourself, to other people, children, elderly, other adults, things like that. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, understandable.
Okay, that's very great. Well, before we begin, I would just like to go over our agenda for today. So we'll be starting off by doing a mood check, a quick overview to see how you've been feeling so far. And then we'll attempt to find the problem that you came here with. We'll isolate that so that we can address it a little more clearly. Then we'll set goals that you can accomplish, hopefully to work on that problem, and then come up with some things, some homework for you to help get along with this problem. And then the session will be basically over. It's that easy. No worries, no stress. I hope it doesn't bring any of that towards you. And then once we finish, I'll just go over a brief summary to make sure that everything that's happened that we've talked about is okay and you're comfortable with that. Right? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. This homework, is it going to be time consuming? That's a concern for me.
Well, that will depend on what we come up with and the issue that you bring up that needs addressing. Hopefully, it isn't something that will disrupt your schedule too much if you are very busy, but we want to make sure that the homework we do assign you is something that will be able to help you in your problem.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, I just wanted to go over expectations one more time before we go on. Is there anything that you feel isn't too clear right now? Anything you feel that should be addressed right before we begin?
No, I think I'm okay.
All right. Well, it's good to hear that everything's going well so far. All right. So we'll start off with that mood check that I brought up before. So if
Mhm.
you could identify how you're feeling right now in one word, what would that word be?
Uh, Overwhelmed?
Overwhelmed. Okay. That's a big
Yeah.
word. Big word. Why would you say you feel that way?
I just have a lot going on. I have a lot of responsibilities
Mhm.
that and things that I need to take care of on my own, and it's a lot. So
Okay.
overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's it can be very hard, especially when you have a lot going on. I noticed you mentioned on your own. Is that something that has been happening for a long time?
Mhm. Uh, it's kind of sporadic. I have a son. He's
Mhm.
2, and his dad is in and out of the picture. So most of the time, I'd say about 70% of the time, I'm alone. And
Okay.
even during that 30%, kind of
Mhm.
still, you know. But yeah,
So most of the time you're saying that you're by yourself. It's just you and your son for
yeah.
the most part. Okay.
Mhm.
So what I'm hearing so far is that you feel that you're overwhelmed overall by everything going on in your life, and since the boy's father is in and out, it kind of puts a lot of burden on you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go back to that feeling, that word you said, overwhelmed. If you had to rate that feeling of being overwhelmed on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate that? With 10 being the highest.
Currently, like right now, this moment,
Sure. Yes.
uh 8 probably.
About an 8. All right. So it's a lot more on the upper end. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you believe is making you feel like this specifically at this very moment? Would it just be the things we just went over?
Well, yeah, I mean that it's just like work stuff. I work two different jobs. Um, and one of them has been laying a lot of people off recently, so I'm a little bit concerned about that because
Okay.
as was previously discussed, I have to take care of things my own. So, rent, bills, food,
Mhm.
all that stuff.
Okay.
And can't really do that without a job. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
So you're currently unemployed at the moment.
No, I have two jobs at
Okay.
the moment. One of them um, pays better than the other.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, it's the one that pays better that is a little bit on the rocks right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're feeling a little, um, how do I, a little bit stressed that, you might not know where exactly your finances may be coming from.
Yeah. And rent is due next week. So,
Okay. So on top of the overwhelmed feeling you feel with everything on your plate, would you say you like there's an additional layer of financial stress as well?
yeah, that's kind of always in the back of my mind.
Okay. All right. How would you rate your feelings, your mood for that financial stress that you feel on that same 1 to 10 scale?
That one, since, it's an issue right now, I'd say maybe like a 8.5, 9.
8.5. Okay. So you'd rate that higher then. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think getting that rating, that initial 8.5 and 8 is a good place to start. We can see where to go from there because now we know, I guess, the priority of your problem, which you feel is affecting you the most. Right. So, I also wanted to just go over CBT, which is the form of assistance or therapy that I will be trying to incorporate in this session today and in the homework that you receive to be able to help alleviate your problem. Now, briefly, CBT is it's known as cognitive behavioral therapy, if you didn't know that. And through this form of therapy, we will essentially be addressing your thought patterns and manners of thinking and changing them into a way that will help improve coping strategies. CBT is a problem-focused and action-oriented type style of therapy, and we identify ways to challenge and replace those unhelpful responses that you might have and change them and adapt them into more healthy thoughts and feelings that will help you reach that goal that you're searching for. So in terms of goals, do you think that it would be good to strive for things that would decrease your levels of stress in regards to finances? I'm prioritizing finances at this moment because you had mentioned that it was rated at an 8.5, so it would be above the
Sorry, my son just walked in. Could you repeat that last part? What did you want me to do?
8. Would it be a good idea for a goal for you for this next session, at least for you to bring back to me here? Would be prioritizing decreasing your levels of stress financially, because you had mentioned that your stress levels for finance were at an 8.5 while your feelings of being overwhelmed was more at an 8.
Yeah, I think that's a good goal.
All right. I think that's a good place to start. We can go from there. Now that we've identified the main issue of focus, we'll be working to find something that will help alleviate this issue. And since the issue in question would be stress, I wanted to ask, what are things that you have in your life that help to alleviate that stress already? Do you have anything like that?
Like healthy things. Let's see.
Yes,
Um,
healthy things, of course.
I I run in the morning.
Okay.
I jog. That's healthy. And I like to read.
Hmm. Jogging and reading. Okay.
Uh-huh. Mm, I listen to a lot of music
Hmm.
when I'm stressed. Just always. Um, I don't know. I don't really have much time to do any extracurriculars, so
Yeah, of course, absolutely understandable. You're very busy. You have a son. I can understand how you could be having those feelings of being stressed and overwhelmed with all that on your play. So you had mentioned that you enjoy running, reading, as well as, what was that last one? Could you remind me?
Listening to music.
Listening to music. All right. So those are three really great things. How often would you say that you do those things per week?
Per week. I read. I try to read. Well, I read to my son, which I mean, I guess
Okay.
that I don't know if that really counts as reading because it's children's books, but that helps to alleviate stress, and I try to do that. Um, well, I work nights, so when I can be here with my son, I do that. So like I don't know, twice a week maybe.
Mhm.
Um, is when I'm here before he's asleep, and then running. I try to do that like uh, 4 times a week probably.
4 times. Okay.
And then listening to music, I mean, I just do that when I'm driving. So
Okay.
every day.
So you read to your son, you listen to your music the most constantly as you
Yeah.
drive to work, and you run about 4 times a week.
Mm.
So would you say that that running is the one you prefer to do the most? Because it seems to be the only one that you do out of your own free will for the most part.
I would prefer to read to my son every night, but I
Okay.
can't be here every night before he goes to bed.
Okay.
But so that would be my first choice. But
Mhm.
yeah, running, I guess. I do that between when I can. So
All right. So um, since you have this feeling of stress, and you enjoy reading to your son, would you think that helps bring you peace a little, makes you feel a little less stressed in the moment?
yeah, because when I'm reading to him, I'm not really thinking about anything else for a few minutes.
Okay.
Just him and Goldilocks or whoever I'm reading about.
Okay. Do you enjoy reading by yourself if you have the opportunities to?
I do. I don't really have opportunities to because I'm kind of the type of person that can't just like read for a little bit and then do something else. I have to read for a long time, and I
Mhm.
don't have time to do that. So
Okay. So you had mentioned that um, talking about reading, you had mentioned that you try to read to your son
mm,
at least once a night before he goes to bed. And out of the three things that you mentioned, you had said that that's the one that really brings you the most peace. So I
yeah.
think that it would be a good idea to focus on that for our homework, because I think it is important for you to be able to find that time for yourself. Because when you feel all these, emotions coming at you, you don't really know what to do with all of it. And taking that time to step back will, I think, really assist in you maybe lessening that mental burden and all of those kind of things for you. So in terms of that, for homework, do you think that it would be possible for this next coming week when you meet me in the weeks until you meet me? Do you think it would be a good idea for you to pick up to pick up a little more reading during the week? Let's say, well, you do like to read to your son, so for a goal to set for that, would you say that um, reading at least 30 minutes a day, and bringing your son along for that if he's available or if he's not asleep yet, but taking time to read 30 minutes, whether that's by yourself or with your son, do you think that would be an achievable goal for
Yeah, I think I could do that. I just need to find things that I can finish in 30 minutes so that I'm not wanting to read more.
you? Okay, yeah. It might take some adjusting, of course, but that's what this session is for. It's, to get you back into the groove of that normalcy that we're all striving for. So, but I think that's a really good place to start. Just so when we meet next week, I'll check back in on you and see how you're doing with that reading and see if you made any progress, and then we'll do another mood check and take a look at that past week to see if you've noticed any stark improvements. All right.
All right, sounds
All
good.
right. Now our time is winding down, unfortunately, so I just wanted to briefly summarize everything that we spoke about today.
All
We
right.
covered confidentiality and isolated that main problem out of the two that you mentioned, which is your stress over those financial issues. Um, we worked on a set of achievable goals, which would be finding some peace for you from the hectic lifestyle, and that goal is just adding a little more reading once a day, 30 minutes for right now, and see how that'll do.
Mhm.
Does that sound accurate to everything we talked about? Anything I missed?
No, I think that was everything.
All right. Well, that basically about sums up our session so far. Is there any feedback you have? Anything you want to have changed or gone differently? Anything I can incorporate in our next meeting?
Uh, I think you did good. I think it was fine.
Okay, well, that's very good to hear. Just know that if there's anything you do have an issue with, just come to me with it, and we'll address that and make sure that you get the right help that you get. All right.
Cool.
Thanks so much for coming. I will see you next week. It was very
Yeah,
good to meet you guys.
good to meet you too.